Bet you didn't see me there. Whew! As you know, Bob Nacho here. Not your typical game show host, but you know, I like to change it up a little bit with what I do. You're probably asking yourself, Bob Nacho, what are you doing? You look very green. You're blending in extremely well. And you're just typically looking awesome as usual. I know, you can cheer. I can hear you through the camera, believe it or not. All right, now let's get to your real question. What are you doing, Bob Nacho? Well, let me ask you something. You're going to be floating down this river in the middle of June, and you're going to be probably stopping on the riverbanks and probably getting out, doing stuff in the bushes, who knows, relieving yourself, whatever you do. Maybe propping your tent right there in the bushes and you're going to sleep there for the night. Well, I got to tell you about one thing that is very, very troublesome, or could be very troublesome for you. No, it's not a tiger, it's not a bear, not a cougar. It's a lot more subtle and a lot more dangerous, actually. I'll tell you right now, it's poison oak. You're probably wondering, oh, poison oak, bush, can't hurt me whatsoever. I'll be A-okay. Well, I'll tell you, you're wrong. You're so wrong. You've probably told yourself, too, I've never gotten poison oak before. I've spent a lot of time in the forest. Well, I'll be honest, poison oak doesn't really grow here on the coast that great because it's too moist, not enough sunlight. But where you're going, it's going to be growing for sure. So I'll tell you what it is. It's a plant. It can be in many different forms, a bush, a vine, a shrub. I don't know the difference between a shrub and a bush, but that's what they say it can be. So be on the lookout for those. It's very, can take many different forms and many different colors. Now I'm going to pull up a picture of it. Oh, it's already here already. Look at that. So as you can see two different leaves here, a green one and a kind of reddish orangish one. Your reddish orangish one is the poison oak leaf. This green one is not poison oak, but don't worry, the poison oak can be green too. This is typically the color you're going to see in mid-June in Northern California, where you guys are going to be at. So be looking for it kind of this color. A big thing you're going to notice is the shape of the leaves. So we'll get into the plant identification here. The big thing is the shape of the leaves, and they're going to look a little waxy. It's kind of hard to tell in this picture, but you will see kind of a waxy coating on it. And the bigger thing we're going to talk about is leaves of three. You can see here in the bottom bush here, you can see these clusters of leaves of three. And then also, this is kind of the vine type of poison oak, so one of the more common in the region you're going to be in. So you're going to look for leaves of three, and you're going to look for a waxy tint. And you're kind of going to look for this color, but again, it could be bright green. What it's not going to be, it's not going to have sharp, jagged edges like the typical leaf we see up above, and it's not going to have thorns whatsoever. So if you're coming up and you're like, oh, that has three leaves on it, it's yellowish, but it has thorns, it's probably not poison oak. Well, it's definitely not poison oak if it has thorns. So big thing to remember, leaves of three, let it be. I would pitch your tent somewhere else, maybe think about going to the bathroom somewhere else, and don't touch it, whatever it is. That's it for here in the forest. I'm going to pass it off to my colleague in the doctor's office, and he's going to talk about the unfortunate event if you do get contaminated with poison oak. Now, I know Bob Nacho said the colleague was going to do this part, but I figured, why not me? I can do it too. So I'm here to talk to you about the unfortunate event that if you do get exposed to poison oak yourself, what to do. Well, the first thing to do is avoid it in the first place by that incredible video Bob Nacho posted earlier. So avoid it in the first place. Now, if you do touch it or you brush against it, the important thing to realize is this is an oil on your skin. So once it becomes contact with your skin directly, you have about half an hour before it is quickly absorbed into your skin, and then really there's nothing you can do about that. You're probably going to get the rash. So if it's an oil, if you brush against it with your clothing, it can also stay on your clothing for more than half an hour because it's not absorbing into anything. It can actually stay on your clothing for days, so you can keep recontaminating yourself if it's on your clothing, or say a sleeping bag, or say your tent. You can keep recontaminating yourself. So if you know if you're exposed, wash everything around you, including your hands. So you have a half an hour to get it off your skin. To do that, washing with soap and water is effective as well. You can use a Tecnu wash. You guys might have it with you. You might not, but Tecnu wash has been known to help as well. In the unfortunate event that you don't realize that you've come in contact with it and you're now starting to get a rash, there are a couple remedies that can help you over the counter. I'm pulling up now. Right there. So these remedies you can find over the counter. You can go buy them at your local store. And I would highly recommend doing so, or at least having someone in the group that has these. The first thing you can do if you're noticing the rash is hydrocortisone cream. The rash should start to appear. It could appear within hours, but typically you'll wake up in the middle of the night with a crazy itch, and you'll know, uh-oh, I got a problem. So hydrocortisone cream would be my number one go-to. That might work, might not work, but I would try it. It can't hurt. The next thing you could do to help you sleep at night is Benadryl. Benadryl tabs, they work as an antihistamine, which means they'll help you go to sleep at night, and they'll also suppress your immune system, which means they should calm the itch a little bit, or they might do nothing at all. So keep that in mind too. The next is some poison oak / ivy bar soaps that you can use to calm the itch. A lot of them are a lot of natural ingredients and remedies that people dream up in their sleep, and they put it into a bar, and then you wash it on your skin, and some really work, some really don't. I've found from personal experience that this bar is actually super helpful if you wash with it every hour, but who knows what you guys will be able to do. There's also a lot of over-the-counter creams that you can spread on the itch that have like a cooling factor to it, and they'll relieve the itch for a while. But again, you're going to have to reapply those multiple times a day for any effect at all. The itching, the rash itself, we didn't really go over, but fortunately, some people are not allergic to the poison oak wax or oil, so you may not know you have it at all. You may not be affected, which, good on you. But if you're infected, you will develop a rash. Typically occurs in sensitive skin areas, so the undersides of the arms are very common. Your torso, your back. Typically will appear within hours, as I said, but usually you'll wake up in the middle of the night with the itch. It can be very bubbly and pussy, and it can take all sorts, and it can affect everyone differently. So know that. But the biggest thing will be the itch. It's going to be extremely itchy for you, and it's extremely uncomfortable, and could quite possibly ruin your whole day. So it's best to avoid, but be prepared if you need to. And I hope you guys stay safe out there and have a good trip.